Witnessing performers pass away in the middle of their craft leaves an indelible mark on history. Over the years, numerous artists, musicians, and entertainers have tragically lost their lives while performing in front of live audiences or cameras. These moments serve as haunting reminders of the fragility of life, forever etching their names into history. Tommy Cooper, The Magician's Last Trick, April 15, 1984. Tommy Cooper, the beloved British magician and comedian, was known for his slapstick humor and intentional blunders that entertained millions. On April 15, 1984, he took the stage for a live television performance in front of a packed audience. As Cooper began his routine, he suddenly clutched his chest and collapsed backward. The audience, accustomed to his comedic missteps, initially believed this was part of the act and laughed, unaware of the unfolding tragedy. Meanwhile, backstage, panic set in as show host Jimmy Tarbuck and other performers rushed to his aid. Cameras remained focused on the stage, capturing what appeared to be another comedic skit, but in reality, Cooper had suffered a massive heart attack. Despite frantic efforts to revive him behind the curtain, he was pronounced dead shortly after being transported to a nearby hospital. His passing was a shocking and heartbreaking moment in entertainment history. Steve Irwin, A Conservationist's Final Encounter, September 4, 2006. Steve Irwin, famously known as the Crocodile Hunter, dedicated his life to wildlife conservation. His boundless enthusiasm and fearless approach to nature inspired millions. Tragically, on September 4, 2006, while filming the documentary Ocean's Deadliest, he encountered his most dangerous moment. While snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef, Irwin swam closely behind an 8-foot stingray. Typically docile, the creature suddenly lashed out in defense, striking him with its venomous barb. The stingray's tail pierced his chest, fatally injuring his heart. His crew immediately pulled him from the water and performed CPR, but the damage was irreparable. The moment was recorded as part of the ongoing documentary, but out of respect for his family and legacy, the footage was never released. His death at the age of 44 sent shockwaves across the world, leaving behind an extraordinary legacy of wildlife conservation and education. Mitsuharu Misawa, The Ring of Fate, June 13, 2009, a cornerstone of Japanese professional wrestling. Mitsuharu Misawa was known for his high-flying techniques and technical mastery. On June 13, 2009, during a tag team match in Hiroshima, tragedy struck in front of a live audience. Midway through the match, Misawa was lifted for a suplex, but upon impact, he collapsed and became unresponsive. Fans initially believed it was part of the performance, but the grim reality quickly set in as medical staff and fellow wrestlers rushed to his aid. Despite attempts to revive him, Misawa was pronounced dead at the hospital, the result of a catastrophic spinal cord injury. His death deeply affected the wrestling community, marking the loss of one of Japan's most revered athletes. Carl Walenda, The Last High Wire Walk, March 22, 1978. At 73 years old, legendary high wire artist Carl Walenda still defied gravity with his breathtaking performances. However, on March 22, 1978, while attempting a daring tightrope walk between the towers of the Condado Plaza Hotel in San Juan, Puerto Rico, fate had other plans. Buffeted by strong winds, Walenda carefully made his way across the wire when he suddenly lost balance and plunged to his death. The heart-wrenching moment was captured on film, but was not broadcast live. The footage later circulated, serving as a stark reminder of the perilous nature of his craft. Walenda's death was a devastating loss to the world of circus arts, but his legacy as a fearless performer remains unmatched. Valencia Prime, A Star Gone Too Soon, September 12, 2022. Valencia Prime, a beloved Philadelphia drag performer and transgender woman, was a rising star in the LGBTQ+ community. On September 12, 2022, while hosting her showcase Primetime at Taboo Lounge and Sports Bar, tragedy struck. In the middle of her performance, she suddenly collapsed on stage. Efforts to revive her were immediate, but she was pronounced dead at Jefferson Hospital. The medical examiner later ruled her cause of death as atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. Her passing deeply impacted the local LGBTQ+ community, with tributes pouring in from fellow performers and fans. Taboo Lounge mourned her loss, stating, "Today, we say goodbye to a bright and rising star, but we will never forget the light you brought to the stage." Pedro Henrique, A Musician's Last Chord, March 12, 2023. Pedro Henrique, a celebrated Brazilian guitarist, was known for his electrifying stage presence and extraordinary talent. On March 12, 2023, while performing at a music festival in Sao Paulo, he suddenly collapsed in the middle of an energetic set. Despite emergency personnel responding swiftly, Henrique was pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. The cause of death was later confirmed to be a heart attack. At just 39 years old, his untimely passing devastated the music world. cutting short a career brimming with passion and brilliance. Colonel Bruce Hampton, The Final Encore, May 1, 2017. Colonel Bruce Hampton, a pioneer in the jam band scene, was celebrating his 70th birthday with a star-studded performance in Atlanta when tragedy struck. During an intense jam session, he suddenly collapsed on stage, appearing to rest his arm on a speaker. Initially, the audience and fellow musicians assumed it was part of his theatrical style, known for its humor and unpredictability. However, as moments passed, the reality of the situation became clear. Despite medical efforts, Hampton was pronounced dead later that evening. His passing was a profound loss to the music world, particularly within the jam band and improvisational music communities. Juan Johnny Walker Jamelon, a tragic broadcast, November 5, 2023. Filipino radio broadcaster Juan Johnny Walker Jamelon was known for his light-hearted radio shows on 94.7 Gold Mega FM. However, on November 5, 2023, a shocking act of violence ended his life mid-broadcast. During an early morning show, assailants entered his home studio under the pretense of finding lost belongings. One held a staff member at gunpoint, while another shot Jamelon twice before stealing a necklace and fleeing. The horrifying incident was captured on Facebook Live and CCTV, leaving his listeners and community in shock. His death was mourned by many, a stark reminder of the dangers journalists and broadcasters sometimes face. Barbara Weldon's A Shocking End, July 19, 2017. French singer-songwriter Barbara Weldon's captivated audiences with her emotive artistry. On July 19, 2017, during a performance at the Léo Ferré Festival in France, tragedy struck. Weldon's, who often performed barefoot, accidentally stepped on faulty electrical equipment and suffered a fatal electric shock. Despite immediate rescue efforts, she was pronounced dead at the scene at just 35 years old. Her passing devastated the music community, cutting short a career full of promise and raw talent. Sib Hashian, a rock legend's final beat, March 22, 2017. Best known as the drummer for the rock band Boston, Sib Hashian was an integral part of the band's iconic sound. On March 22, 2017, while performing on the Legends of Rock cruise, he suddenly collapsed on stage. Despite immediate medical attention, he was pronounced dead. Later reports revealed he had been battling kidney cancer, making his passing even more heartbreaking. His death marked the end of an era, but his contributions to rock music remain immortal.